Hi, this is Kenix. In this video, we are gonna see how you can create a third-person shooter by using the new Unity input system which works for keyboard and gamepad. The character is inspired by Alan from the game Alpha Protocol and is intended for personal use only. You can download it using the link in the description below. This video is sponsored by Canixel Coin, your gateway to easily purchasing assets and virtual good. Visit our official Canixel Artist website to explore and make seamless transactions using Canixel Coin, whether you are looking for exclusive game content, art assets, or more. And now we're gonna have a player which is rigged on Mixamo or Acrylic. We have created a tutorial before how you can rig your character on Acrylic, so you can see that video how you can rig your character. So now, in here, if you are rig the character, the animation type must be humanoid. And just apply. And now the next thing to have is to put your character on the scene. I have created a prefab on here. I have put it here. So if the character is humanoid, if the character animation type is humanoid, you're gonna have this automatically, which is the animator, which accepts the animation controller from the project tab. So we have just put it here. So now we are gonna have animations, the idle, the run, and the walk. So where we can find this animation is from the Mixamo site. And here you're gonna have animations in here, or you can download any walk animation, idle animation, and you can download any animation from here. And when you download it, it must fit the characters because of sometimes there may be a glitch or why the animation and the model, if not fitted, it's gonna have a glitch on here. Just let me show you that I've assigned the animations like this. The first thing to make it the animation to humanoid and copy the animation from the copy the avatar definition from the other avatar, and you're gonna choose this avatar. Do you understand what I'm saying? And now which avatar means, just to show you, when you expand this one, it's going to show you this one, a player avatar, which is to control the bond. So we have here, and when you assign the animation from, when you change the animation type to humanoid of the animation, you're going to copy from the other avatar. So which means I'm going to tell you in here is when you download the animation from the site of the Mixamo, when this one is the model, and but when you choose the end animations and when you press the download button, it's going to show you like this. So you're going to make it FBX for Unity and 16 frames per second and without a skin. When you make it without a skin, the animation gonna only the animation which is about that control the one only will be downloaded. So you can get the animations on the link below. Okay, let's continue. If we are doing this, the idle animation is gonna be like this, and the animation must be loop because of it is a loop animations. The idle animation must be a loop animations. The root transform rotation must be checked, and the root transform position must be checked, and this also must be checked and apply. So if you're gonna make like this, you gotta make also the same stuff for the run and the walk animations, but you are going to make this one back into pause. It must be unchecked because of it, if it will take back into pause the player to the position. So the walk also the same. So if we finish this, we're gonna right click to create the animation animator controller. So we're gonna say this one a player. And when you double click, it's gonna open the animator. If you don't find this animator tab, you're gonna go to the Windows and on the animation and click the animator, and it's gonna display this one. And what we are going to do on the first is to drag and drop the idle animation on here, and to drag and drop the walk animation on here, and to drag and drop the run animation on here. So we have just do this stuff, and just the first thing to do is to have a transition between the idle to the walk animation, and from the walk to the idle animation. And if you create this, we're gonna have a float to animation transition, which is gonna be move, and you can say anything, move. And when you just go to here, there is a conditions to add on here, and when you just click on the plus sign, you're gonna find this, the move greater, which is about, and don't forget to uncheck this one always while you are using this, and make it your point one to check it, which is from when it's going from idle to the walk, the move plus is greater than 0.1, and it will return from, or the walk to the idle, it's gonna be less. So again, has exit time must be unchecked. We have finished from the transition from the idle to the walk. So now we are going to create a bool layer which take the true and the false while walking to run and from run to walk, which is a boolean. So now we are going to create a run bool and walk, not from walk to run and from run to walk on here. So the has exit time must be turned off and the run must be true, while walk from walk to run must be true, and from run to walk must be false. And exit time must be turned off. We have already finished on here what we are going to do. So now what we are going to do now is you must have the Playmaker visual scripting tool. If you don't know about Playmaker, Playmaker is a visual scripting tool that's created by Hutong Games to make your game to create easier. It's gonna be really cool to make it easier. So let's go. And now we're gonna have this, and let's just click on our player. Just don't use a prefab while you're using this. Just unpack the prefab completely, and don't forget on the first we have created this one, and we're gonna drag and drop this to the player. And if you play the game, you can use shift plus space to maximize the game window. And we are waiting to reload the domain. As you see, the idle animation is working, but it needs a transition from the idle to the walk and from the walk to the run. We're gonna control with the visual script, so let's go. So in here, we're gonna have to go to the Playmaker and add in here add component for the player. So we're gonna say FSA. We're gonna found the Playmaker FSM final state machines and this one a movement. You can name it what you want, and on the first state there is a state, and in here it the player on the state. The first state gonna be the idle state. So the idle state like this, which is the player idle, and control plus left click again here, and this one to the walk. Do you understand what I mean? And to the walk, and again what? Control plus left click and what? Run. Run. So now we are going to control these states to have a transition. So the first thing to do now in here is you're gonna find in here uh, a player input. This is a player input with a new Unity input system, which is compatible with a new Unity input system. But before that, you must install the Unity new input system package on the Unity registry. So go to in here and install this one, input system. After you install this one, you are going to go to the edit and go to the project setting in here and go to the input system package, not input system package. You're gonna see this one when you have installed the package, the Unity system package. You're gonna find this. So after this one, we are going to do go to the player On the player, you're gonna find here down active input handling. You're gonna choose this one. If you want, you can use both, but I prefer using Unity input system package, which is a new. So after you choose this, close the project setting window and back to the scene and back to the Playmaker by clicking the player. We're back. So here I'm gonna tell you is the Playmaker Huton games provide this one script to control your character, but just modify. We have modified the code to make it more flexible to make your games. So go to the iconic slot send, use this one. Player input get move vector new. So we have created this one. It is better to use because of this really flexible. We love it. So the first thing to do now is to have inputs on here. It is empty. Why it's empty to you must create on the Unity input system package. So we're gonna right click and create input actions. And you're gonna say this one input actions. You can name it anything. So just double click on it and you're gonna have this window. The first thing to create is create add control scheme, which is to make it great for specific controls like this keyboard and mouse. And here you're gonna add keyboard from here, keyboard, and add the mouse from here and use the mouse and save. This is gonna be your input action and just control as to save here and gonna be save here. So now add a binding key, which is about the action maps to gonna be like a player, UI, and more. You're gonna rename it to player. So there is a new action here. So now we are creating a movement. So we are going to use not a button, gonna be a value and change to any to a vector 2. So rename to this one a move, which is to move the player. The name, and when you save this and when you get back to the Playmaker on here, and when you choose this one, you're gonna find this move. When you select it, it's gonna be selected, so you're gonna move by this. But there is no any case inside it, so we are going to create a key in here, or you're gonna add it like this: up, down, left, right, composite. So you're gonna drag and drop into the move. So rename this one to a keyboard and click this. Gonna be like this. The app, delete this one. It's gonna be the W key on the keyboard. It's gonna be this one, the S key on the keyboard, and it's gonna be the A key on the keyboard and the D key, the D on the keyboard. So we're gonna control our character on here, which means let me close this one, just save this one, and we're gonna have this one here, keyboard. We're gonna use a keyboard to control this one and close this. And get back to the Playmaker in here, and we're gonna use the move. And relative to means gonna follow with the direction of the camera. So from the beginning, let's add this one relative to the camera. You're gonna store a magnitude on here. So you're gonna create a new variable, gonna be input magnitude, and create a move vector to store. So gonna be a new input variable called input vector. And now while you are using this, it's gonna, the float's gonna be change the value from 0 to 0 0.1 and 1 like that. So now we are gonna have to create the set animator float. Just we have created a move float on here, just to select it from here, and the value must be while the input magnitude, which is when you're using the inputs, the value must be according to that. So just every frame to be checked. And now call up this one, but we doesn't create a transition between the idle and the walk. So now we're going to create a float compare action. The float compare action gonna be uh, the float compare must be the input magnitude. The first float gonna be the input, which is gonna compare from 0.1 we have already created from this to this transition. So now we are going to make a transition, which is when it is greater than, you are going to have the walk. So it is easy. Just make it the every frame in here and right click to add transition to walk like this and here. So now we are going to do is to copy the whole stuff here, copy and paste it here. So now we are only going to change from the greater than to less than to idle. So the idle the idle animation or to the idle state in here, we have already created that the move is less than 0.1 gonna go to the idle animation. So now after this, we are going to make a transition between the walk and the run that we have already created a boolean that check the run when it is true and when it is false. When it comes from the walk to the run, it is true. When it's back from the run to the walk, it's false. Because of it is not going to run on walk state. So what we are going to do is we have already modified the code which the Hutong games created. So we have to add the run action. So how we can create the run action? We are going to back to the input and double click in here and add a new binding, which is the action, and you're gonna say run. It is easy. And go back to here and add left shift on the keyboard. So it's easy. And don't forget to check these buttons to prevent glitch while you are using a gamepad. So select this one, the keyboard, and select the whole like this when it's on keyboard. So save this one. Don't forget to save. Save this one. And go to here and select the run action. So we have already used the run action on here and the run event while it is run event, which means when the player hold or press the run action, it is gonna run, which means it's gonna send even to the run state. So add transition to the run and gonna enter it here. So we are going to minimize this one, collapse this one, and now go to here. As I told you before, we have created a boolean here, so we are not going to use a float. We are going to use a set animator bool, if you have seen it here. So we have already created a bool named run. In this state, the value on the frame must be checked because of the state is run. You're gonna copy this action and you're gonna paste it here, and the value and the frame must be deactivated, which means on this state the run is not going to work. So copy again to the idle animation, to the idle state, and gonna be the value and the frame must be off. So in here, when you get to this, staff, we are going to have this action, which means, sorry for that. First, we have send the event from the work to make it to run on this state. So again, when it is released, it's gonna send back to work and click this one and get back to work. And which means when you release the key, it is gonna get back to the work state. So now just let us try something in here. It's gonna work or not, or something. There may be glitch or something. So let's check it. So the player's in idle state. Uh, we have a glitch on here. Don't worry. The control is not working because of we didn't add player input on here. That's the problem. Player input, not manager, sorry. The player input in here and player input in here, and to choose the player action on here. And let us try it again. Save your scene. And we have the player on idle state. It's gonna move like this, gonna move like this, and when you press the shift, it's gonna run like this. So the problem is when you just press the A and the DDS it's not going back. That is the problem. So let us fix it this. And what we're going to do is on the work state, we're going to add a smooth look direction, which is going to follow the directions of the input while it's going to rotate like this. I'm going to show you. The first thing to do is the target direction in the input vector, which is while you're using the side of the way, going to backward, left, or right, or forward. So we are going to make it like this. So copy this action forward for run. We are not going to copy this action because of on the idle state there is no movement. So save the scene and let's start again. So we can get back, we can go to the right or left, forward and backward. It's really amazing. So we are going to do like this, and when you shift and go like this, and when you release the shift, it's gonna work, or when you run and when you release the moving, it's not going to run. So the previous code, which was made by Hutong Games, have a glitch that when you release the movement case and when you just only press the left shift, it is going to run. That's really, really weird. So now we are going to make one thing, which is the camera movement to follow the player. So for this also we have already created custom actions to mouse look. So the previous one was made for the input manager, which is the old Unity input system. So now we are going to create a camera. So what we are going to do is make it create NPD object inside the player. So which is the camera follow. The camera follow, which the camera follow to the player by using this. So we're gonna make it to the center. Go to the center and make it to the center like this. This is the center of the player. So now leave this one and right click this one. While you are creating the camera controller, you must follow step by step, please. And now create empty object, and you're gonna say the camera controller. So you're gonna add you're gonna copy the transforms of the camera follow. No, you're gonna insert the camera here, and you're gonna go to here, like this, and click the camera on here, and Control Shift F to make the camera on the view of the scene. So Control Shift F to the view of the scene, which will save your time, because of this one is very time waste. So let's get back. This is like this, maybe like some real camera. So uh now we are going to add a controller. For easy FSM adding, you're gonna go to the Playmaker MPT window and control and click. It's gonna create an FSM quickly. So on this FSM, you're gonna make a camera controller. You can name it anything as you want. So on here, we're gonna make camera. You can name anything. So now we are going to make is move toward. The first thing to know is move toward. Which one? The camera controller, which is the use owner. The camera controller follow what? The camera follow inside the player. And we must have the target position. We don't want. Ignore vertical. Please make this to 0. If it's not 0, when it's go 1 to 1, it's gonna stop following that object. The camera follow will stop. The camera controller will stop following the camera follow. So make it to the 0 and use the new Unity input system, but it is difficult for them to make it. I don't know why. Go to the Connect Slides Custom Actions and use the player mouse look. And now we are going to have a new input named look. So as we have done previously, we're gonna open this one again. A new action, which is a name the action to look, and the action type must be value, and the control type must be vector 2. So what we're going to do now is we're gonna go to here, and the path must be the delta mouse pointer. So delta pointer is gonna be the mouse pointer. So we have created this one and save. Don't forget to save your action on here. So go to the back to the Playmaker and go back to the camera controller in here and add this one. Move, not move, look. So the sensitivity must be 5. It's in a 5. So close this, close this. Not close, collapse. Sorry for that. What we are forget. Let's try it. We have some trouble. This is working well. It's running. It is following the player. The problem is what to make is that as I told you before, just copy this one, the transform of the player, the camera, follow, and paste to this one. Paste to this one. Paste component value. And now go to here. Put the Control Shift F to put here, and use the camera to assign in here. So let's just try it. We have some trouble. Yeah, we have done it. Do you see this one? Like this, gonna move like this, gonna move like this, gonna move like this, gonna run like this. And when you release the left shift, gonna stop like this. When you release the movement, it's gonna be like this. It's really amazing. So the new Unity input system is gonna work like this, but how we can do for the gamepad? Let's just wait to have the camera like this, or no, like this, or like this. You can make it anything like this. Let's just test one time. Cool. We have an old man running on the street, maybe like that. So when you get back like this and run like this, cool, we have done it. So now, how you can add the gamepad? So you're gonna go back to the project and select the input action here. So we are going to going to add a new action. No, 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 no. Don't create like this. Just delete this one and go to the add control scheme and just try the gamepad. Gamepad and add. It's easy. Don't worry. Gamepad and gamepad and save. And here, save again. There is another thing in here. Only the delta pointer works. So we are going to make now is all control scheme. We're going to use it like this. So add a new binding key. So we are going to use on the gamepad the right stick and the left stick to rotate the player. So now to move is the left stick, or we can use also the other one, which is the D-pads. You can also add the D-pads on here. Doesn't matter. So we have add this one and we're gonna say gamepad on here. It's gonna work with the gamepad. On the run animation, on the run set animations, on the run controller, we are going to add binding key, and we are going to use any key on the gamepad. We can use, I use the button waist or something like that. You can use the button north or the button east, which is the X, the circle, the square, and the triangle. So I'm gonna use the north to run, or I'm gonna use the left shoulder to run, maybe like that, and choose the gamepad again. And to look, you're gonna add a new binding. No, 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 no. Add a binding in here, and on the pads, the gamepad right stick. We have already finished pieces, and you can try it with the game controller. I have already tried it, so it's easy. Mm, as you have seen, we have updated the new input unity with the new unity input system and how we can use it with the gamepad and the keyboard, and it's really easy. And we have showed you that the custom action which is created with the Kinect slots, and it's easy and flexible. You can try the Hutong games actions, but it's really glitch. I don't know how they created it, but you can test it again with a gamepad like this. Let's have a look. Okay, you can connect your gamepad to your PC and you can try it. You can use your keyboard, or you can use your gamepad to move. You can use your mouse to move, or you can use your gamepad to move. I've tried with the mouse and with the keyboard, so it's easy. We have created our third-person shooter movements on Unity 6 with a new tutorial with a new Unity input system. So if you have any questions, please comment below. And don't forget to sign up to the canislots.com, and don't forget to download the link in the description that I've mentioned before. Don't forget to subscribe Canislots, like, share this channel. This is Canislots, Soul of the African Art. Have a nice time.